Hey, I'm Katie Miller, a course creation coach and social media strategist navigating business, motherhood, and life while calling BS along the way. If you are tired of the overwhelming amount of information we have access to these days and are confused about where to even begin, you're in the right place. Join me as I talk with small business owners to sort it all out and give some tips to move your business forward. Welcome back to another episode of Katy Calls BS. This week, we are talking about low-cost offers because I don't know how, but somewhere along the way, we started believing that a low-cost offer, like the under $47 offers, could be thrown up on our websites and we would magically have a six-figure business. And I'm calling BS on the people who say their $27, $37, $47, or whatever low-cost offer is the one that made them 6 or 7 figures, because it's the way they say it that is false advertising, and that's what pisses me off. But my guess is it did not, or it did, but not in the way that we think. So our first thought is that the offer itself, that low-cost offer, the way that they say it is, it sounds like that low-cost offer itself is the one and only thing that got that person to their money goal, which don't get me started on the money goals, because we all have different ones. We all have a different monthly goal. And there was a long time there a few years ago where it was like, you have to reach this 5K month. You have to reach this 10K month. Oh my gosh, you have to have a 100K month. That's like the only way you're going to be successful. I could go off on like a whole episode on that, but I'm not going to today. It was likely that this low cost offer that all these people are talking about, and I'm just going to use that general category, it was likely that a low-cost offer, like a $27 offer, or $37, $47, whatever it was, I'm talking like the under 97 for sure, but like really the under 47s, is a lead-in to another offer, a higher ticket offer that got them to the 6 or 7 figures that they're sharing in their marketing, which I could talk about forever too, about how that's really like BS marketing. But this episode is how to use a low-cost offer effectively. It's not about marketing. I have a lot of episodes on marketing and social media marketing and how I really don't love it when people do that. I don't love it when we have this, this is how I made X amount of dollars using this exact strategy. Click here and you can get it for free. But really it's like, click here and then you can get this like one pager for free, but then you have to sign up for my course for this, and then you have to sign up for this, and then you have to do this for this. And really, you're not going to find the price of any of it until you scroll through 57 other things. And I just don't love that. But again, that's another topic for another day. So how can you use a low-cost offer effectively? A low-cost digital product is probably not going to replace your income on its own, if we're being perfectly honest. It can make you some money. It's usually not people's top strategy. It can make you money. It can make you a good amount of money, but you have to use it in a way that will make sense for your customer map or your customer journey or your funnel, which I don't love that word. So I say customer map or customer journey, but you have to figure out where it fits in. Where does it fit into the rest of the road trip that your customers take? Where, you can't just throw this thing out and just hope that it works. You can't put a $27 offer up on your website and hope for the best and be hope and pray. That's not a method. It's not a marketing method. It's not going to work. It's not a business plan. So you have to think about where this low cost offer fits in with the rest of what your customers need or want. So if you think about this low cost offer as the start of the road trip, where's the next stop for your customers? And so I'm thinking about the road trip that my customers are taking. They took off from home. They find me. They stop at this low cost offer. They're like, $27. I can do that. I want to save my money. I'm going to start here, right? Where's the stop that they're going next? They're like, oh, I like this low cost offer. All right. Okay. I'm feeling comfortable. We're in the stop. We were a little bit in the trip. I'm ready to spend a little bit more money. Where am I going next? But let's do some quick math first. So let's say your goal is $100,000. If you have a lot of people to sell to, if you have a $27 offer and your goal is a $100,000 offer, or it's $100,000, okay? $27 offer, your goal is 100K. Now, I did the math already because I don't do numbers this quickly, but you would need to sell 3,704 of those digital products. That's a lot of digital products. And maybe to some people, they're like, oh my gosh, I could sell that in my sleep. Not me. I don't love it. So no, 3,704 of that digital product to hit 100K, 309 a month of that one product, or about 71 a week. Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot of people for that offer. And like, I love that for you. If you're like, oh, I could totally do that. Okay. I love that for you. That's some marketing the shit out of that product. And if you feel like that you can sell for days and you are good with that, then you do you, boo. I love that. But think about this. If you need to do that every single week, every single year on one $27 offer, are you really going to be able to do that? I mean, in all likelihood, are you really going to bank your entire existence, your entire career, your entire legacy, your entire business on a $27 offer? Because I'm going to get bored. I want to do more things than just a $27 offer. I don't want to have everything be just on that one offer because I'm going to have it be more things, right? Because where I love to work is likely not that $27 offer. It's going to be in the like nitty gritty things, the fun part of what I do, which is the course part of what I do. It's going to be leading into other things. It's not impossible to do that. But if you're currently selling 5 of that digital product, you're currently like saying, let's say you have a $27 offer and you sell 5 of those a month. This is likely not your income plan, right? So a low cost offer like this is really great for a few things. And when people are creating their low cost digital product, which is what we talk about inside Digital Product Formula, it is really great for a few things. The first is a trust builder. So it will prove that you know what you're talking about. So this is good for like an intro offer for people who may not know you yet. The people who know you and love you are probably going to buy it. They're like, yes, love it, love her, love him, buying it, right? But the people who don't know you yet can go in on a $27 offer. They're like, oh, I don't know. I've been watching her for a minute, or I stumbled upon their page, stumbled upon their ad, wherever they found you. And they are going to say, you know, I can do $27. They fall in love with you. They buy the product. They fall in love with what you can offer. You get a transformation, or they get a transformation. It proves you know what you're talking about and you know how to do what you do. And then they can move on to the next thing. They can move on to the next offer with you. It's also a great list builder. So a buyer is going to be more invested than someone who grabs something for free, right? So if they're going to join your list, they're going to start reading your emails and they're going to start like getting excited about your next offer, the things that you might announce on your insider list. It's a great qualifier. It's going to filter out the people who are serious about your offers because now they're invested. They're invested in what you do. They're invested in what you offer. So they've put like skin in the game, right? They've bought something. So now they're like, well, I'm in it. I'm in it now. And now they want to know the next thing because they know that you can do what you do and that you do it well. It's also a great starting place for your customers to lead to bigger offers. So for those people who might not be ready for the $1,000, $4,000, $10,000 offer, this is a great starting point for people who want to like dip their toe in. Like, I want to see, what do they have to do? What is this digital product thing about? Like for me, it's people who are like, I don't know about digital products. Let me see what it's about. Let me dip my toe in. And then it can lead into the bigger offers. Some of the biggest mistakes I see people make with low cost offers are setting it and forgetting it. This is the biggest one. People will create this low cost offer. People do this with freebies all the time, but freebies, it's a little bit less of a risk. Is this set it and forget it with low cost offers. So even a $27, $37, $47, they're like, okay, I made this thing. I put it up on my website. I'm good to go. They put it on a checkout page. They call it a day. Use the, if you build it, they will come idea. It's not going to work. How is anybody going to find that? You're going to be like, good if someone stumbles upon it. You know what it does? It becomes a digital dust collector. It adds clutter to your website until someone maybe stumbles upon it. Or you're like, oh, I need to promote that. I haven't talked about that for a while. Let me talk about it today. And that's not a marketing method. That's not how you market your products. You are now going to have to add one more thing onto your plate. So if you don't have a way that it like comes into the customer roadmap or the journey or the funnel or whatever it is that you want to do, which is what we're going to talk about in a second, then it's just going to be there until you remember to promote it. Or it's just going to sit there being a digital dust collector, which might be my new favorite term now. If you are not creating a funnel or you haven't created a funnel for it, which seriously, can we not use the word funnel? it just sounds so formal and professional, and ugh, I just don't like it when people are like, you need to create this funnel. What's your funnel? Guess, can we say like customer path, customer journey, roadmap? I don't know, whatever we're going to call it. You need to figure out what happens after after people buy this low cost offer. So if you were like, oh, I created this low cost offer, or I'm thinking about creating this low cost offer, but nothing happens after people buy it, like they just get it. That's a problem. That's a problem. We need to know what the next step is. Like you have a step after people purchase something from you usually. So if someone buys one of your normal products or coaching package, or they buy one of your larger packages from you, or whatever it may be, if they buy one of your, I don't know, if you're, let's say you're a coach, they buy a coaching package from you, or they buy a consulting hour with you, whatever it may be, what's the step after that? Do they get a follow-up? Are they maybe going to lead into like more coaching packages? Do they lead into a program? What is it? Where do they go from here? Or do you just like forget about them and they wander off and you never hear from them again? Where do they go so that you keep them kind of in your world, in your funnel? Where do they go so that they're in your world? Now, I'm not talking about like bombarding people with 17 emails and then you're going to send them like 4 upsells, a carrier pigeon that has a special offer, and then you're like going to send a skywriting plane. Like, I'm not talking about that, okay? But we do need to know what the next step is so you can communicate it to them. You have to know it first so that you can then tell your people, because if you don't know it, you can't tell them. It can be as simple as send a thank you email when they purchase. So they purchase the $27 or low cost, whatever it may be. Could be 17, as low as that. What, 7? I don't know. We like 7s. For some reason, there's a psychological part about that we could get into, but there's a whole psychological thing about the ending in 7s. It's like when things end in the 9, where we think it's cheaper than it actually is. Anyways, so let's say you have this low cost offer, they purchase it, you send a thank you email. Thank you so much for buying this. Oh my gosh, I love it. Can't wait to see what it does for you. This is going to be so great. Done. Then maybe you do a certain amount of time later and you do a follow-up or a check-in. That's when you send the next steps. That's it. We're not doing a million emails here. We're not sending them like a ton of stuff. That's it. That's your whole process, your whole funnel, your whole customer map for them. Okay. And that's your check-in, your next steps. And you say, hey, if you need something else, here's where you can go from here. Done. Boom. Now, the bottom line is I need you to ask yourself these questions. Is this digital product solving a real problem for them that someone will happily pay to fix? Okay. Is it a like transformation? Like, is it solving something, or am I just throwing a product out there because I needed to have a lower cost product? Because that's not going to, no one's paying for that. Do I have something else that this leads into, or am I just creating something to create something? Are people asking about it? Has anybody asked about it? Like, do they actually need it? Am I willing to actually talk about it? Or am I just planning on throwing it up on my website and hoping to have sales? Because that's not going to work. Or is it going to sell it while I sleep? Because it's not going to sell while you sleep. You could make money while you sleep, but you have to set that up. Is this product going to be a moneymaker, or is it building towards your bigger business vision? We have to set that up, okay? You have to set that up to make it work. If you want your low-cost offer to work, you have to pair it with a next-level offer. Your low-cost offer, in order to make your millions, you have to pair it with your next-level offer. That's going to be your course, your service-based product, or whatever service you have, a workshop, an intensive, whatever it may be, it needs to be paired with the next level offer. You need to use it to build your list with your buyers, not just your subscribers, but with buyers. Like, they're invested at this point. You need to create this little ecosystem for your business, which is like little small offers where they're ready to just, yes, immediately, yes, not thinking about it, yes. You need to have a major return on investment for the buyer, not just look at this. You get a 472-page workbook. How amazing is that? Because first of all, nobody's going to finish that. Not just you get this workbook that is 20 pages. They're going to be like, cool. What do I do with that? So instead of saying that they get, just the straight facts, they get this much of a workbook and they get this and they get this and they get this, you want to look at what are they going to save? What is it doing for them? Why does it matter that they get all these things in this low cost offer? Like, I had a mini course that was about tried and true reels. Okay. And it was it was an hour total. Like, that's what I sold it. Simple reels that convert. And it was a $27 course the price raised to $37. And I sold something like around when it first launched, 30 something people bought it, and then a whole bunch more after that. Okay, so it did pretty well. And the transformation was you will create 4 reels in this hour. Because the idea of it was workshop style, and they would learn how to create the reel, pause the video, go create the reel, come back, learn how to do it, pause it, go create it, come back, and do the same thing for all 4. And they could come back and redo and recreate in those reels over and over and over again. And then after that, what they could do is they could come to my Instagram page, see how they were continuing in my funnel. So then that would be, they were still in my world, and they could go to my Instagram page, and every week I would share trending reels audios. I don't do this anymore. P.S. That was in my social media days. And so that kept them in my world, and it gave them a transformation. They didn't have to think about it anymore. It was something that was taken off their plate, and they could tried and true reels. Yes, done, sold. I don't have to think about it anymore. Trending reels audios, done, sold. You're going to give me the ideas. Dreamy. So instead of just focusing on here's what this includes, make sure that you're highlighting what the transformation is. That's where you're going to see the most interest, is the transformation. What is this doing for your people? That's it. That's how your low-cost offer is going to get the most traction, is when you do all those things. Because that's the point. It's like we want it to get the most traction when we can make it have the most value and highlight the transformation, not just the basics of what you're going to get. Like, cool, you're going to get a workbook, but what is that workbook going to do for me? I hope that helps, and you can go out and create a low-cost offer that is actually going to do amazing things for your people. And I will see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Katy Calls BS. You can find more information about our guest and Katy in the show notes below. Be sure to subscribe, share, and review, and don't forget to tag us.